What's up and welcome to Me, You, and Switch 2. I'm me, Tom Tate, and you're you, so let's talk about Switch 2. This podcast is your spot for the latest news. We're going to keep it short and sweet, 5 to 10 minute episodes. Today is Friday, June 13th, 2025. This is episode 4. That's right, it's Friday the 13th, spooky time. Be safe out there. It is Friday, though, so I hope that your week has been going well. I hope you've been able to log some game time. You know, with all these great new games on Switch 2 and all the great games from Switch 1 that have received Switch 2 upgrades, you would think that I'd be playing the latest and greatest. But this week, I have been playing Metal Gear Solid 2 on the Metal Gear Solid collection, and it's great. It's a great game. Not really taking advantage of the new hardware, but it looks very, very good on this bigger screen. And I've been dying to finish this game, so as soon as I finish it, I promise I will play some of the latest games. We've got some quick news today. First off, confirming the rumored sales numbers from earlier this week, Nintendo has indeed smashed their console launch record by selling 3.5 million units in just 4 days. According to Kotaku, the original Switch took a month to sell 2.75 million units, and it's safe to say that it beat out the PS5's first week sales numbers. So pretty impressive. Nintendo put out a press release. I have a link to that in the show notes if you want to check it out. They are excited by this number. Honestly, this is good news for us too. Good news for Switch. There's still word on the street that it's easy to get Switch 2 in stores if you want one. I personally haven't seen one, but I hear that they're out there. This tells me that Nintendo really prioritized getting units over to the US during this temporary tariff pause that we're in. So they sold a ton, record-breaking amount, and there's more in stores to be sold. So that's a good situation, I think, for the install base. And hopefully it shows in third-party software support. Hopefully third parties continue to come out and support the Switch 2. The big announcement from Nintendo this week was for Splatoon. So they released a YouTube video debuting a Switch 2 exclusive adventure spin-off called Splatoon Raiders. This was accompanied by a Switch 2 edition of Splatoon 3. My son loves Splatoon, so he was very, very stoked when he was able to watch this video. I think that we have some graphic and performance improvements for the Switch 2, a new stage, some weapons or some skins on weapons. I wasn't really clear on that. This released yesterday, I believe, so it's live for Splatoon owners. You can get the upgrade, but I'm not sure when the Raiders expansion or side story will release, so I'll keep an eye on that. A lot of people are going back to Switch 1 games to play Switch 2 versions. And Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, these are two of those games that have those Switch 2 versions. I personally popped into both, but to be honest, I'm not ready to start a new save, and I have no memory of where I left off in those games. So they look beautiful, they play great, but I'm not going to jump back into either one of those games just yet. One upgrade that has reviewed really well, though, is the Switch 2 version of No Man's Sky. So this game, I believe it was released first on Xbox, then it came to PC. It had a troubled start, but by all accounts, it's a pretty complete and enjoyable game now. I've never tried it, but it's reviewing really well. So if you're looking for a game to get into, maybe this is one. You can get a free upgrade if you own the Switch version, or you can buy the Switch 2 version. It is on sale for $24 until June 17th. Another Switch game getting a lot of praise is Fast Fusion. This is a racing game developed by Shinen. Shinen has a strong history of showing up at Nintendo launches with some innovative games that really push the hardware. So Digital Foundry, they do great technical reviews, and they reviewed this game. Nintendo Life reviewed this game. They both reviewed it pretty highly. I haven't picked this one up yet, but I plan on it. Graphically, it looks incredible, and it's also $14.99, which really doesn't hurt just to have another Switch 2 exclusive title on the Nintendo Switch that you can pop into. So what else was announced over the past week or so? I'm not a Disgaea guy, but Disgaea 7 Complete was announced for a 2025 release, so that is coming. Activision discussed getting Call of Duty on Switch 2. They said that they'll share details when it's ready. So if you're a Call of Duty fan, that's something to look forward to. Vampire Survivors, a very popular game, that received a Switch 2 update. So I think the big detail here is that it adds cross saves. So if you have saves across different consoles or the Switch 1, I believe you can pop those over and you can play those. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots. This will release on September 5th. The Everybody's Golf Hot Shots golf franchise has always been a ton of fun for me. I remember playing on PlayStation and PSP. Very classic games. So hopefully that will be a good title to pick up when it comes out. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. I talked about this in a previous episode. It received kind of a new trailer at Summer Games Fest. It's getting a physical release on September 12th. September is really shaping up for the Switch 2. I'm really excited for some of these games that are coming out. I also like owning physical releases, physical games. So Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, that might be one that I pick up for sure. Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time, received its Nintendo Switch 2 edition in the eShop this week. And for Nintendo Switch 1, you can also soon pick up the Gex Trilogy. That's going to hit the eShop June 16th. If you're familiar with the Gex games, you know what's up. That's going to come to Switch 1, but because of backwards compatibility, you can play it in Switch 2 as well. So that's it for today. That's all I've got. I hope that you have an amazing weekend. I'm going to take some time this weekend to get my stuff live on all the socials, Blue Sky. I might spin up a Twitter account, but I don't know how active I'll be on there. Instagram. So you'll be able to let me know, contact me, let me know how I can improve the show, what you like, what you don't like. If you have any hot tips on news or things that you want me to cover, you can reach out to me on the socials. I'll post all that stuff next week once I get everything set up. I'm also going to put out a quick weekly email newsletter. I think I'm going to do that on Sundays. So if you just want a quick roll-up of news stories, the top of the top, I will send those out in an email on Sundays. So I'll have information next week. In the meantime, you can subscribe to the podcast, Me, You, and Switch 2, on your podcast listening app of choice. We're also on YouTube. If you want to leave a review, that would be awesome. I'm not asking for reviews really yet because I only have 4 episodes, but as we get deeper, I might start soliciting reviews. It really helps spread the show, spread awareness, and helps me gain more listeners so I can continue to do this and grow. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Much love. Now go play some games.